Hello everyone. Today we're going to be learning about solubility rules. Now I understand solubility rules can be quite intimidating at first because they're boring and there's a lot of substances that you have to remember, and there are exceptions. Now what I've created is a simple mnemonic that is going to help you know these rules. So before we begin, I would like to introduce you to a very good friend of mine, and her name is Gina. Now, Gina has helped me remember the solubility rules because of one special feature that she has. Now, that special feature about Gina is that Gina has C cups. Now, for this video and our purposes, we're going to be spelling cups differently. We're going to be spelling cups as CCOPSS. And later in this video, I will explain why. But for right now, I just want you to remember that Gina has C cups, and that's going to be our mnemonic for this video. Now here, we're going to be dividing the phrase Gina has C cups in two different parts. As you can see, the first part, which is Gina has C, is going to be our solubles. And the second part, which is cups, that's going to be our insolubles. Now, on the right hand side, I'm going to write down the exceptions. Now, for our solubles, the list for our solubles are going to be, we're going to start with the letter G1, which is group 1A alkali metals. Following is going to be the letter N, which stands for nitrates. The letter A is going to stand for acetates. The letter H is going to stand for halogens. Your halogens, as well as the group 1A alkali metals, you can see them in the periodic table. The letter S is going to stand for sulfates. The letter A is going to stand for ammonium. And last but not least, the letter C is going to be for chlorates. Now, hopefully you know your polyatomic ions. And you know that nitrate is NO3 minus. And acetate is going to be C2H3O2 minus. For halogens, you could just look at the symbols in the periodic table. And ammonium is going to be NH4 plus. Sulfate is going to be SO42 minus. And chlorate is going to be ClO3 minus. Now, for our solubles, the halogens and sulfates are the only ones that are going to have exceptions. For the exceptions for the halogens, just remember the three simple letters HAP. The letter H is going to be for Hg, which is mercury in your periodic table, and it's going to have a charge of Hg2 2 plus. The letter A is going to be Ag, which is silver in the periodic table, and the letter P is going to be for Pb, which is lead in the periodic table. Now, to remember the exceptions for sulfates, remember the letters CBS, HAP. The letter C is going to be Ca for calcium. B is going to be for barium. S is going to be for strontium. Hg is going to be for mercury. And P is going to be for lead. Now next, we're going to be moving to the list of the insolubles. Now for the letter C, it's going to be carbonates. The next C is going to be for chromates. O is going to stand for hydroxides. P is going to be for phosphates. S is going to be for sulfides. Now sulfites is going to be with an IDE at the end. And the last S is going to be for sulfites, and that's going to be with an ITES. Remember, all of these are going to be insoluble. Hopefully you know your polyatomic ions for the insolubles. Your carbonates is going to be CO3 minus. Your chromates is going to be CrO4 minus. Your hydroxide is going to be OH minus. Your phosphates is going to be PO4 minus. Sulfites is going to be CS2 minus. And your sulfites are going to be SO3 minus. Now we're gonna be talking about the exceptions of the insolubles. Now, as you can see, I broke them down into arrows. So the first two, carbonates and chromates, have the same matching as phosphates and sulfites as far as arrows. So what does that mean is that those two are gonna have the exact same exceptions. So carbonates and chromates, the exception is going to be NH4 plus and your group 1 alkali metals. And like I said before, the same thing, it's going to be the same thing as phosphate and sulfides. So they're going to have the same exceptions. So it's going to be NH4 plus and your group 1 alkali metals. Now for your hydroxides, it's going to be your group 1 alkali metals, and it's going to be those three letters that I told you to remember, which are CBS. C is going to be for calcium, B is going to be for barium, and S is going to be for strontium. And their charge is going to be Ca2 plus, Ba2 plus, and for S it's going to be Sr2 plus. Now, the last exception is going to be for your sulfites, for the insolubles. Their exception is going to be your group 1 alkali metals in your periodic table. And also, they're going to have your group 2 alkali earth metals. So if you look at your periodic table, you'll be able to know that all of the insolubles are going to have the group 1 alkali metals as an exception. So this is basically to help you guys were able to learn the solubility rules. Alright, thank you for watching the video. If you guys have any questions, just post them on the discussion board and I will be more than glad to answer those questions. So thank you for watching.